Hmm? Ah!
You're listening to the Run for Your Lives podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Daphne.
And I'm Pate.
And this is the Run for Your Lives podcast.
This episode is the horror film Saw, directed by James Wan and released October 29th, 2004.
I can't believe that this movie came out almost 21 years ago.
Yeah. It's wild. To go back and think about that, and I don't think I've watched this original one, since it came out in 2004, which means I was in 7th grade, I believe. Probably too young to be watching this movie, but it was at a friend's house at like a sleepover situation kind of thing. So, like, of course I watched it then.
I watched some of the worst movies, as far as terrifying or disgusting, at friends' sleepovers.
Yeah. So I was just like, I think it was 7th grade. It has to have been, because I was looking at the years, because I was like, it must have been like the end, like the back half or early school year, whatever. Because I was like, it wouldn't have been 6th grade, because I didn't know that friend yet. And I know exactly whose house I was at when I watched it. That will stay. So, like,
People often do when it comes to torture porn. And then when I was watching it today, I was thinking, did this one come out before Hostel? Because Hostel is also the one that people always call torture porn. Saw actually came out first.
Yeah.
So it kind of started that trend, I think.
Yeah.
It also started this trend of very low budget, huge box office. Boom.
Yeah. Especially with horror.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, I think that after Saw really took off, the next big one from there was the Paranormal Activity series.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Which were like next to nothing to produce, but they were insanely successful.
People were talking about that first one, and I remember the advertisements that would be on TV for it, and it was showing people in the theater freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, we haven't touched that yet. We have not discussed it.
No, that could be another fun one to go back and do, like, for like, yeah, just like those iconic horror movies that aren't necessarily like, when you think of classic and iconic, you want to jump all the way back to 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And it's like, no, like, at this point, there are 2000s films that I think are horror classics and icon, and for sure. Like,
yeah, definitely things that the rest of horror since then built off of.
Mm-hmm.
And James Wan and Leigh Whannell, I mean, because Leigh Whannell was the star of this movie, one of the stars, and he wrote the script for this movie, the story.
Yeah. And so it was based off of a short film,
which I watched today.
Wan and Whannell had also directed and written together on the same name, Saw. That was, I haven't watched it.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
So, I'm only going to say this about it. It's about 9.5 minutes long, and we see it recreated in this movie with a different character.
Yeah.
And it has to do with reverse bear trap.
Gotcha.
Only it's Leigh Whannell.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see why someone saw that short and said, okay, yeah, I'm in. I want to see what you're going to do with it, because there was tension in it just from like 9.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I had never seen it though until today. It was one of the things that they were encouraged to do, because they wanted to finance the film themselves, but they they had to get creative, because all they had was like $30,000. And you can't do a lot with $30,000. So Lee Wanell came up with this $5,000 to create this short film that they did. And it's pretty good. Considering it's not a huge amount of money, they were able to accomplish a lot. The whole bear trap thing. Man. The funny thing is, Dead by Daylight, there is a Detective Tapp as a character, like a survivor. He has one of my favorite perks, which is Detective's Hunch, and it allows you to see certain things at certain times.
Yeah.
But there's also a pig. And it makes that sound just before the pig attacks you. There's this moment in the movie. The pig just like roars. That's what happens in the... Yeah. You're in the game, and the killer has no terror radius, which means you're not getting any vibe that she's around. And then all of a sudden she's on you. And it scares the crap out of me every time. So I had some flashbacks to those terrifying moments.
Yeah, I haven't played much Dead by Daylight in quite a while, but I've dabbled with putting the reverse bear trap on people a few times. I'm aware.
Yeah. It's not fun. Yeah.
It is if you're doing it.
It is if you're the killer, yes. Being the killer can be a great thing. That can be a lot of fun, but I'm never the killer. Like, I am always a survivor. Amelie and I have toyed with the idea of, like, going in during 2v8 and, like, teaming up, each being a killer and going in and taking people out, but we've never done it, and I think it's because neither one of us wants to go to the dark side. We kind of like being the survivor. It was great to go back to this and cover it again. The wheel picked it.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen very often that we spin the wheel, but the wheel did.
The wheel knows best.
Yep. Probably.
Always.
I don't know about always, but
I think so. Has it ever steered us wrong?
Not yet. I'm still worried that it will. It's a gamble every time we spin it, but so far it has kept me away from the one movie I don't want to cover.
But it's on there. But I've added so many other movies too that it gets buried in there more and more.
There's a lot of movies coming out even this fall. We've got Black Phone 2. There's Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I mean, those are just two of the movies. As we're recording this, next week I'm going to go see The Long Walk. And last week, I went to see Jaws in the theater in IMAX. And I have to tell you, that was something I've always wanted to do. I was not disappointed. It was fantastic on the big screen. So
love that.
Now I'm kind of watching to see what other movies are having big anniversaries that I could see on the big screen. I know of one that our good friend Levi is working on for a festival called Tremors Fest that maybe we'll get to go and I'll get to see that on the big screen. So did I see it on the big screen? I can't remember. I think I already did, but I'd love to see it again on the big screen. I know I never saw any of the others, but
it's a fun experience. I've seen all 7 Tremors on a theater screen with people in the crowd quoting and having a good time. It's a blast, for sure.
I would love to be in that environment. Do you quote along with them?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
How do you not?
I don't know. I was denied critical need to know information. That's probably my favorite quote.
Quoting along, I have a video of the broke into the wrong goddamn rec room, didn't you? In the first movie. Huge quote with a whole theater of people quoting along loudly with it. And I have in the video, you have everybody quoting it, and Michael Gross himself was sitting like a row or two ahead of me, and you can see him like reacting to everybody else quoting along. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh. See, I'm really looking forward to going to Tremors Fest. Whenever it is, I really feel like I need to be there this time, and I think it's going to be so much fun. So, whenever it is, I'm down to go.
Absolutely.
So,
but yeah, back to Saw, which, and for us, another James Wan, Lee Wanell special.
You do know how much we love them.
It's always fun to have one or both of these guys on a movie that we do. Throw this back in that universe between all of the Insidious stuff and the Conjuring that we just did recently this season. And then even like when they're separate stuff like Cooties, and then now here with Saw them together, and then just anything either of them or both of them together touch. I'm like, yep, I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
This was, I think, Lee Wanell's like first feature role. Like he had done some shorts and things, but this like brought him to the mainstream.
He got the introducing credit.
Yeah.
So.
I remember that there were people that didn't like his acting in this movie. I may live with a person that didn't like his acting in this movie. But I didn't find it bad. I'm okay with it. He specs. And as I'm watching this, it's hard for me to watch it without thinking things like that. Like, oh, it's specs, or it's Doug from Cooties. Like, how do you know? We do love some James Wan and Lee Wanell. It is totally totally fine. We are good with our obsession with it. It's totally cool.
Yeah. This is a great movie to like jump in with them and talk about this one. I'm going to go ahead and say off the top, I mean, there is a ton of lore and interesting stuff in this film franchise, and we are going to talk about none of it.
Well, we might talk about some of it because I did do a little deep dive into a few things.
No spoilers.
No, I'm not spoiling anything. There were times as I was going through the movie, I would take a note that said, but we're not going to talk about the pig. Oh, wait, yes, the pig does appear, so I can go back and change that. Mm-hmm. There were things that I changed along the way based on what happened, but no, we're not going to spoil anything. And I've seen all of them, and I know you have not.
I think I stopped after 5. Maybe 6, but 5 for sure I saw.
So if you're wondering if we're going to say if anyone from this film appears in a future film or whatever, we're not going to tell you.
No. We're going to have to cover the other movies to get there. So
right.
I don't know. Maybe let us know if you end up enjoying this and you want us to do that. Then we can totally do that.
Yeah. So now that we're about 15 minutes in, let's go ahead and I'll do some production notes.
Right.
It was filmed in Los Angeles, California. It is the feature film debut for director James Wan. It's the first collaboration between James Wan and Lee Wanell, who went to film school together. So they've got this bromance. So down with that. 9 sequels and 2 video games came out of this movie. Budget was $1.2 million. It grossed $104 million. It was 103 minutes long. Pake, bring us a synopsis.
All right. I hated all the synopses on IMDb, either because they are way too long and convoluted, or they were just wrong. There was just information in them that I was like, I just watched this movie. That's not correct. That's not a thing that you're... So instead, I decided to go the route of purposely describing a movie poorly. Synopsis, because those can be fun too.
That sounds like one of Jerry's games that he's come up with before.
So I'm going to do that instead, because if you're listening to this, you've watched this movie and you've probably seen it anyway, so you know what it is. So I'm going to have fun with the synopsis. 2 guys hang out and talk in a bathroom until finally one of them leaves.
Did he go out on 2 feet? Or was he crawling toward the door?
It doesn't matter.
No. Okay, so Dr. Gordon and Adam were together all of the time. However, there were stories and backstories and things going on over here. Who do you consider to be the main character in this movie?
Both of them.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But I do have it set up note-wise with Lawrence, Dr. Gordon first, but then anything that was the 2 of them together, which is almost all of it, is all just under him. And so I'm like, we'll cover most everything that way.
Okay.
And then when we get to Adam, it's like, then there are a few little like notes and things that are more him specific that I'm like, that'll be more of like the jokes and like little other things that I can throw into that as
you
well.
have jokes.
Why would I not? You know who I am.
I do know how you are, especially this season.
Can I take notes on a movie and not have some humorous kind of thoughts that I throw in? I think
it's not possible.
Mm-hmm. How my brain works.
I know. It's crazy.
Like literally the first note that I have, starting with Dr. Gordon is, thanks for hitting the lights, buddy, because even me watching at home couldn't see shit.
We're very lucky that we got to see anything because, like I said, the budget for this was, I mean, they got a budget, which is great, but I mean, it was their first movie together.
Mm-hmm.
They did what they could with it, but they get to the editing room and they don't have enough footage, so they have to, then let's do this cool TV that we're watching them through the TV. Like there's a camera and recording and we can make it look like it's surveillance, and they didn't have enough, so they had to fiddle with it like that.
Uh-huh.
They took 18 days to film this movie. There wasn't a budget for multiple millions of takes. They had to a couple of takes and we got it, or we didn't, because this is what there is. I do want to share one thing before we get into it, because I do have a bunch of notes on behind the scenes stuff and things that are part of it. Billy, who is never named in any Saw movie, aka the ventriloquist dummy, is not a dummy that was adapted. It's one that James Wan created himself, which I thought was kind of cool that he did it himself. Like, he didn't just go get something and build off it. He created it. And I mean, he's called Billy by the cast and the crew and director and all of that. He used clay and paper mache and some of that stuff. Black ping pong balls for the eyes, which makes perfect sense now. Yeah. He used paper towel rolls inside the body. Like, it just, I feel like he just threw stuff into it and hoped that it would function.
Yeah. Looked great.
Yeah, I think it worked.
For sure.
Yeah, they had budget parameters. That's why there are certain things missing. Like, there weren't a lot of outside shots. And they filmed in a warehouse. The only set that they actually built was the bathroom, which is the most important set.
Yeah. And I feel like, the warehouse probably housed all of the sets that they used.
Yes.
You have the big sliding door that goes into the bathroom. And it's like, if you think about where they were filming, it's probably on the other side of that big sliding door was the, like, Jigsaw's hideout or the apartments. And, like, it was all just built in the same place, like, all there, I'm sure.
They brought different props in for different things. They just brought a prop in and built it around it. And, yeah. It's very cool how they did it. It's this low-budget, independent-style film. And it's what they wanted to do. They were really inspired by the Blair Witch Project, and they wanted to do their own thing. And they really wanted, again, to fund it themselves, but it's a lot more expensive than they thought.
I think it serves it a lot because, and it's not much of a spoiler to say that, obviously, the rest of this series continues to have more and more traps and gore and increasingly elaborate setups.
Yeah.
Because they have the budget to do the insane things. But I think it serves because if they would have jumped into the first movie just having those insane traps and setups, I don't think it would have hit the same.
I don't
wouldn't have
either.
had that like trajectory. I think having what they had really set the groundwork for what the franchise became. So honestly, it's kind of, after seeing a lot of those later movies, it's refreshing to come to this one and just see the simple bare bones concept that started everything.
Yes, because this was more of like a mystery. You're trying to figure things out. And the reveal at the end, I remember being in the theater when it happened, and the place was just in shock for what they were watching on the screen. I was in shock. It was crazy.
Sit with me again. 7th grade, so what? 12-year-old Pake. Yeah, sitting there in that room and like watching this movie, and then it's like, you know, those like inside out like core memories. It is one of those things. Is like when I think of this movie, it takes you back mentally.
Yes.
I'm 12 years old at my friend's house. It's like 2 a.m. We're watching Saw. We probably shouldn't be, but we're watching it.
Yep.
And then just trying to contain the absolute shock when John Kramer stands up off the floor, and we're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. The whole thing, you're just like, "What?
Yeah.
He's dead. How is he standing up? How is this happening? It doesn't make any sense." But yet it was.
Yeah.
I have to give credit to Wan and Wanell. They were very determined. They knew what they wanted to do. And Wan was insistent that Lee Wanell play the character of Adam, so much so that when they were making the deal with which production studio they were going to work with, they went with what ended up being Twisted Pictures because they felt that they would be able to keep that tandem team of Wan and Wanell intact, and they were going to get their vision like brought to life. And they did get better offers. DreamWorks offered them more money, more of something, and they didn't take it. They went with this company called Evolution Entertainment, who decided to create Twisted Pictures, and Saw was the first movie that they did. And I remember the logo and everything for Twisted Pictures because it's the barbed wire and the spike and all of that. So watching that on the screen as I'm sitting here like, okay, watching Saw, it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's when it all started back then.
Yes.
So
I'm going to have to add this to when we get to, I think I'm going to wait till October because I have too many things to watch. And I'm still going to have too many things to do and watch when it gets to October, but it's a good time to make the plan. Is I'm going to have some like Halloween horror marathons. And so I'm going to watch all of the Conjuring movies. Even if we cover them or not at whatever point, I have to just watch them one time.
Oh my goodness. You're breaking your golden rule of waiting till we cover it?
I know, because it's going to take way too long to get to everything.
It is.
And then, like I said, I've seen most of the Saw movies, but like it's been so long that like after watching this one, there was a part of me that was like, oh, I just want to hit play on Saw 2 and just keep running.
Yes,
like...
me too. Because again, I've seen them, so I was expecting a scene that I didn't see. I'm like, wait a minute, is that in a different movie? Yes, it is in a different movie.
I might attempt it. I attempted it 8-9 years ago and got so close, but didn't quite finish it. But doing a 31 movies in October every single day, watching a horror movie or a spooky movie. But it's like I've done several years of like Oscar's Death Race at this point that like I feel like I'm more prepared for it.
Mm-hmm. Peg, you would not have been able to go see this movie because it was rated R. It got demoted because originally it was NC-17 because of the tone, and Wan went through and changed some things, like just changed the tone. He updated the color and the sound and took out some things. There was more with the character of Paul crawling through the razor wire, that barbed wire stuff. All I could think is, how long is it going to be till AEW installs that on a pay-per-view? Oh,
they've done it.
That much barbed wire?
Oh, they've done a barbed wire, or not like a barbed wire full room.
Okay.
They've done a barbed wire
death
platform that people dropped onto.
Okay. All right. Not to this degree. So
maybe that'll set up a lot of my like, because that was the thing, is like finding movies to watch in October. Like, I mean, there's plenty of horror movies.
You could spin the wheel, Pake.
Well, that's for this. That's for.
I'm glad you're keeping it as a Run for Your Lives thing.
But it helps if I'm trying to fill that time with watching full series of movies, because I knock out all the Conjuring, Annabelle, Nun, and all the Saw movies, and it's like, well, that's a good chunk right there. That's like half the month taken care of.
Yeah. I'm so interested too. You know what this does though? What this does, though, is it creates this situation where you watch all the Saw movies and I have specific questions I want to ask you about certain ones because I'm genuinely interested in what you have to say. I'm going to have to wait until we cover it, and that's going to drive me crazy.
Yeah, get on it. So, yeah, this one. Yeah, I guess so we can start with Dr. Lawrence Gordon for the most part, but a lot of these notes are going to be about things that are going on with both of them. So it'll cover most things, and then we can, as we do, we'll circle back around. We'll bounce back and forth. We'll have fun with it. We don't need to recap the whole movie beginning to end.
Well, Carrie Elwes we saw in Twist. So we saw Carrie Elwes as Dr. Jonas Miller in Twister way back when we covered that. So he's not someone we haven't talked about on this show. He's a doctor.
Yeah, we've also been lucky enough to sit and listen to him tell stories about his life and movies and stuff with our good friend and multiple time guest of this podcast, Ben Beck, on stage with him, doing the Q&A with him. It was fantastic.
Yes, and while I was watching this, I went back to that interesting question that came up from the fan in the audience that kind of didn't go the way the fan thought it was going to, about connecting to characters. So, yeah, it didn't go as well. But it's something that comes up from those of us who went to Pandemic because we were there, and it's just one of those memories that you have. But I did think of that while I was watching it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't help it. And I was like, that's the fun thing about like conventions and stuff, doing a bunch of that, where I've met so many cool people and seen so many cool people to where now I'm watching this and like I just see Carrie Elwes and I'm like, oh, he's such a fantastic person. Like, he's just such a charming person in real life.
Oh my gosh.
Like
Pandemic was my first convention, and I feel like I got really spoiled by the people I was hanging out with, and then the people that I got to meet. Like, it was just a ton of fun. Now I feel like I need to go to another one, but I don't know if it will live up. I don't know that it will live up to it if it's not with fun people. So.
Right. Yeah. So, we get these two people that are main focus here, Dr. Lawrence Gordon, and even though it's never said in the movie, he's credited Adam Faulkner Stanheight.
Good old Adam. I've already said it once. Our beloved Specs from Insidious and Doug from Cooties. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so the two, they wake up in this disgusting bathroom setup, chained to piping in the walls, no idea why they're here, where they are, with a dead body, in quotations, lying in the middle of the room, looking to have shot himself. And going into this, knowing full well that it's John Kramer, and the surprise reveal that's coming to us is coming, like, it made it a little extra fun, because I'm just like, man, this guy's got a lot of control to just stay fully still and not react at all this whole time. Like, with all the things that they're saying and doing, it's like, part of me is like, it'd be so hard not to just like react or laugh or something to like something that's going on. Or get frustrated, like, God, are they not going to figure this out? I thought I laid it out for him pretty plainly.
I kept looking at it like, is he moving? Do I see anything? No, not a single thing.
Mm-hmm. And then like 2004 doesn't feel that long ago, but as we said, it's 21 years. So this younger Carrie Elwes and a much younger babyface.
Oh my gosh.
It's interesting to see. You're like, man.
Babies.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, immediately jumping to it, I was like, man, Dr. Gordon must be an escape room specialist, because immediately he's looking for clues and speculating on everything. It's like, well, this and look at that thing, and the clock is new, so we've got to know. They want us to know what time it is, and what's this and what. It's like, yeah, if you want to do an escape room and like really knock it out, you take Larry Gordon with you.
You do. Or you're the group of us that did the escape room when we went to Pennsylvania, because our little group, we escaped.
We did. We got it. And they each have this little cassette to play that they find. Lawrence has a bullet and a key in his as well.
Doesn't bode well.
The key does not unlock either of their shackles, which they're tied up, so they can't reach the body holding the tape player. So they have to resort to like some ingenuity, but Adam does manage to get the tape player.
He does, but I feel like Adam, while this was about Adam, it really was about Gordon, and Adam was just, to me, getting the shit end of the stick with this.
Yeah. Again, I know I said I'm not going to talk about other movies, but I don't think this is spoiling much. It's not lore based. It's not. But you learn more about in future movies and stuff that and you see it in this one too a little bit, because it's like with Amanda. When
Yes.
we get thrown to her thing, it's there's the other guy that's in the room that was still alive that she cut open. And it's well, what about that guy? It's this was a test for her. But then the other people that are in the rooms with them are always also connected with whatever's going on. Jigsaw plans his victims very
Carefully.
Carefully and precisely. He knows everybody's included in whatever thing he's trying to do, that they're the reasons that they were picked. And so it's yeah, this was a test for Gordon. Adam was the one who's connected because he's the private eye who's taking pictures of Gordon, who's hired by this ex-cop who's hunting Jigsaw down. So Adam is connected, but he didn't know he was, and not by his own actions, but he was still connected enough to be the one that got to be the extra in the room, the bait, the thing that's used as the test.
Yeah. And again, with Jigsaw, he puts together these choices, basically. I mean, the iconic lines, I want to play a game. Live or die, make your choice. He gives you two choices. Living by killing Adam. Or, if you don't kill Adam, we're going to kill your wife and daughter. And I'm just what did Adam do that was bad enough that for him to warrant being killed? It's not always clear with Jigsaw what the bait has done, or if the bait even deserves it.
Yeah. It's not always... I mean, wow, are we surprised that John Kramer, that Jigsaw is not the upstanding, shining beacon of morality?
No, not at all.
Mean,
not at all.
There's definitely some gray areas in his logic, for sure.
Yeah. I feel once we get through all of the Saw movies, when we talk about the last one, it will be really cool. I think before I watch it again and do the prep, I'm going to go back to this episode and maybe listen to it again, or at least go through my notes, because I feel it's when things go in a certain direction and the longevity that this franchise has, things that get set up here may not pay off later. Who knows? They knew, honestly, when this movie dropped and did so well the first couple days, they greenlit a Saw 2 right away.
Yeah.
Just kept going.
Which was good, because it's not as bad watching it knowing everything that comes after, but the cliffhanger ending, there's still some unanswered questions that do get answered in the future. You'll have to stick around and watch the other ones if you haven't. But those answers do come. But this one does end with plenty of things not answered or not wrapped up, and they kind of have to go back and answer and fill those gaps in future movies. When they're trying to figure things out and they're throwing stuff back and forth, I was frustrated with Lawrence. Have you never heard of underhand tossing?
No.
Anything. You don't have to pelt stuff at people at full speed. My God. Just toss. He didn't say, hey, chuck it at my head. He said, toss it to me. Bro, chill.
Do you wonder why Adam did not want to toss the cassette player over to him?
He'd pitch it at the wall back. Chill. I don't think Cary Elwes underhands anything the whole movie. He's just as fast as he can. Just don't throw things like that. He said, toss it.
I'm wondering if he played cricket and he was a pitcher in cricket or something, or if he baseball or I don't know, some sport where you're throwing things.
Yeah. And then, Dr. Gordon is aware of Jigsaw. He figures out what's going on. He's well, I know who's behind this, and this feels familiar. And him knowing about that, it can lead us nicely into a little flashback sequence of some of the victims and the kind of games that Jigsaw's been playing. And we get some of that.
3 victims we learn about. Paul, who crawled through the barbed wire escape, did not escape, ran out of time. And we see the piece of the jigsaw like cut out of his flesh. Mark, who is like a injury fraud guy.
I know, it felt like Jigsaw was trying to do his best, like, The Room impression when he comes on the, hello, Mark. It's like, that's not the quote, Jigsaw.
Yeah.
That's not...
Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah, no, it was not. His was so complicated. And yet these are so simple compared to some of the traps that come.
Oh, yeah. They get insane.
So this one in particular, he has to crawl around through glass to find combinations from the walls so he can get an antidote from the safe before the poison kills him, while not catching fire from the candle he has to hold to see in the dark room.
Mm-hmm.
You can guess how this ends, even if you haven't seen the movie. And then we also meet Amanda, who's a drug addict, who has the reverse bear trap on her head. And she actually escapes.
Yeah. Yeah, she's the only known survivor at that time. And I did have a question, and it does get answered, because like we learn that Tap, who I always want to keep calling Trap in my notes, because I think of Mike Trap from Dropout.
They couldn't be further apart.
No. But yeah, because we learned that like Tap like goes full like wild, but he like, because Gordon was a suspect because his pen light was at the scene of the crime, which is all part of John Kramer wanting to take this out on him personally because he was his patient.
And we saw how he treated his patient. It just seemed so nonchalantly as far as the way he was talking about his illness. It took an orderly coming in basically saying, his name is John.
Yeah. So he, that's how he gets him involved in Tap, kind of looking at him as a suspect. But then Tap never gives up on Gordon being a suspect. For whatever reason, he's obsessed. He's just like hung on to like, well, I know his alibi checked out and I know that everything seems good, but for whatever reason, it has to be him. He has to be connected and he won't let that go. So like, but then I was like, I don't think logically he should be able to get away with even what he did with Gordon even before he got like kicked off the force. Because like, why would you have Lawrence, who is a cleared suspect, sit in the room and be privy to the interview with Amanda and the information about the case? That doesn't seem like something you can do. But of course, movie plot, Lawrence has to have that information so he can share it with Adam, thus us, the audience. But still, it's like, well, no wonder Tap got fired. He was a terrible detective. He's breaking all kinds of protocols.
Yeah, I think his partner might have been the better detective, but he has his own issues when his time comes. Yeah. In the future, you see how bad it is. Like, Tap's life is just crazy. Mm-hmm. But we've got Gordon and Adam trying to figure out the different steps. And I could not, honestly, if you, here's a tip from me.
Iffy. Mike Trap, now iffy. What are we doing?
Here's a tip from me. If you see a heart written on a toilet and you know that it's a clue, maybe look in the tank first.
Because even he says that. He's like, well, maybe I should have checked there first. But then I was like, at least put your hand back and wash your hand off in the tank now. I don't know why you're letting it just... Whatever.
Because honestly, it was very Trainspotting. Because there's a part in Trainspotting with Ewan McGregor. And have you ever seen Trainspotting?
I haven't. Of course
okay,
not.
It's at...
There's too many good movies I haven't seen.
The next time we hang out, we are watching Trainspotting because I think you are going to love it, and I want to share it with you. I think you'll love it. There's a part that anyone who's seen it will understand exactly what I mean that involves a toilet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was kind of...
really selling the movie.
No, it's great. It's such a great movie. Yeah, the toilet, it was disgusting. And then he does get into the back of the toilet, and what does he find? 2 hacksaws.
Yeah. And more stuff in that bag, but that's secret
Yeah.
for now. And yeah, they find out they're being watched because of the mirror. Because I was like, when he throws the thing at the mirror and it breaks off that piece, I was like, well, that shard of glass is coming back. But not in the way you might think. It's him looking at it and realizing it's a two-way mirror. So then he shatters the whole thing, and there's this camera watching, so they know they're being watched. And then Adam is surprised that Lawrence is mostly pretty calm and collected, everything considered. He's in escape room mode. He's trying to calculate and solve, because there's a lot on the line, especially now that he knows his wife and daughter are threatened.
Yeah, he didn't know quite how much, because Adam, again, with the whole frickin' wallet, like Gordon is telling this story. He's talking about his family.
She did say there was a bad man in her room. You maybe should have checked the closet.
Yeah, Benjamin Linus was in her room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah, speaking of that, because I do have, like, tiny little notes about, Zepp, the orderly, who's the one watching them on the camera, we find out. But, I always love to see Michael Emerson, which he's been in several things, which is always great. But, of course, you mostly think of, Ben Linus on Lost. There's also another Lost alum in this movie. So, Daphne, do you want to play a game? Can you guess who it was?
Ken Leung.
Yes, he played Detective Singh here. He was Miles Strong.
Yes.
In Lost.
Now, Ken Leung, I remember him from Lost.
But yeah, gotta throw that out there. Yeah, and we just, through a lot of their conversations, learning more and more, getting some of those flashbacks where we see their connection. We don't really ever fully realize, like, what's going on with Gordon. Like, I assume he was having an affair and cheating.
Yeah.
It was one of the nurses or something from the hospital, because she was also in that room whenever he was talking about John
one of the
Draper
residents.
One of the residents or something, yeah.
That's abuse of power.
And so, again, like, we never see them do anything. He, like, shows up and is like, I shouldn't have asked you here, and then... So we don't know if anything actually really ever transpired between them, but it was enough for him to be followed. Of course, then you think, well, if his wife is having him followed, hires a private eye, but it's like, no, it's Tap.
Yeah.
But either way, like, he was up to something that even if he wasn't guilty of anything specifically, like, there was some intentions that were followed through, maybe not all the way, but enough. But then we, get that, like, flashback of, like, the time he was abducted, and then knowing that Adam was there right before that happened with the camera. But I remember even thinking, I was like, that is the sketchiest hospital parking garage I have ever seen. When he says, like, and I'm leaving my job at the hospital, and then you see him walking through that, I was like, where do you work? Sacred Heart of the dumpster behind the bar? Yeah. You'd be crazy to not expect someone in a pig mask to abduct you in a place like that. I don't know. What are you thinking? Of course, then we learn, later, it's not hospital parking. That was for the seedy hotel that he was seeing this woman in.
Well, and Adam has known who he is all along, but he hasn't said anything. Like, he knew who he was. He's so good at covering it up and pretending he has no idea who he is and everything, but yeah, he knew who he was because he'd been following him. Yeah.
So after a lot of these truths and things come out, which, all are meticulously planned to, like, pit them against each other to some degree.
Yeah.
To kind of hopefully push Lawrence in the direction of being okay with killing Adam, or make Adam snap to make him killable. But they still try to work together for the most part.
They do, but they're not 100% honest with each other. At least Adam is not.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing with the Polaroid that he gets out of... And I couldn't figure out, are you taking the Polaroid because you don't want him to know that that's the situation so he doesn't freak out?
That's how I took it. Is I don't think it was him being dishonest as much as it was him just kind of trying to protect him.
Yeah.
Because he's sitting there talking about, oh, my daughter, I miss my daughter, I love my daughter. Here, you want to see her. Here's pictures. And then so when he asks about the wife, And he's like, oh yeah, it's back there. So like he's living in this moment where he's like fondly remembering his family. So for the next thing for you to pull out is a picture of them bound and gagged, held hostage. I can totally understand him trying to protect him in that moment, being like, oh, instead of that picture you told me, here's this. Now be horrified. And
right. He was going to, freak out, saw his leg off, which let's be grateful that the saws were in the toilet that was by Adam and not on the other side, because Adam would have been dead by the saw being thrown over to him.
Throw me those. Yeet! Yeah.
It's like, no, okay, no, that's not going to work. Okay, yeah, no.
Yeah.
He would have done what he did at the end.
Yeah.
He had a bullet. He had a reason. He was told he had to kill Adam.
Yeah, but I do... So that's the way I saw it, was him lying to him, omitting the fact about the picture and the clue that was on it, was him just being like, this guy's going through a lot and having a moment right now. I don't want to pile onto that to be like, oh, look at this picture. Yay!
Not good. Not a good idea.
So he kept that to himself and then tried to play it off with like understanding the clue and then going, why don't we try turning the lights off? But of course, Larry kind of sees through that a little bit, being like, how did you know to do that? Where did that come from? So then he has to reveal that. But I don't think there was any bad intentions with him hiding that. I think that was purely kind of trying to be kind to Lawrence.
Lawrence kind of kept the cigarette thing a secret at first. Adam has him turn the light off, and they find X marks the spot, which is what Larry was trying to find. And they break the tiles and they get the box out. And that's what the key was for. It wasn't to unlock their shackles. It was to unlock the box. And in there is a cell phone, one-way cell phone, and these cigarettes with a lighter, and a little note from Jigsaw telling him what to do, that basically, you can die other ways than just bullets.
And Lawrence comes up with a great plan. I mean, he realizes, the cigarettes are meant to poison and kill Adam if he uses the blood. But then he has that thought of turning the lights off and speaking quietly enough while Zepp, who's watching, is confused, to secretly let Adam in on that plan and fake poison him, kind of hoping that, like, well, if they don't know that you're in on the plan, they saw me dip the cigarette on the camera. Then I switch out to the one that's not tainted, give you that one, you pretend that it poisons you and dies, then I've killed you, they come in to let me out, and then we can escape. So it's a great plan. The only big hitch with that plan is there's a very important person in the room with you, listening in while you're devising that plan that they didn't realize. Very important person who has a nice little clicker button in his hand under him to control the zaps.
Yes, not the zaps, although he is controlling the zaps
He's
too.
He's controlling the zaps too.
The zaps and the zaps.
He controls zaps, he controls zaps. Probably zips and zops as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so that doesn't work. Adam gets electrocuted or an electric shock, and that's it.
I was a little high on the drama. I was like, we can tone it down a little bit, Adam. The only thing he was missing was like grasping his chest and going, I'm dying! Oh, the humanity!
Okay, so
how could you have betrayed me, Lawrence? Now I'm dead. Oh, like
I do believe that Lee Ronell did. That was the weakest part of the
but it was
acting.
It's in character though.
Yeah.
So it's not even Lee Ronell not acting. It's because Adam's a terrible actor. So really, there's a meta-ness to it where the character you're playing, you can be acting so good that your character is a bad actor and they're supposed to be acting. So there is that.
Yeah.
Because you can even see like Lawrence's face being like, fucking tone it down, dude. That they're not gonna buy it if you're chill.
It looked so hilarious though, like because it was overacted in that way, it looked ridiculous.
Yeah. So then I was saying, would it be fair to assess that Jigsaw enacts the Frankenstein method to test that plan? And what I mean by that is he applies electricity to Adam, and then he goes, hey, what do you know? He's alive!
He's not the only thing alive in that room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's. I liked the moment where we start to get the real truth of the matter, where Adam, like, reveals that he does know what's going on.
Yeah.
He does know who Dr. Larry Gordon is, and he was photographing him. And, you know, he basically says to him, I love this. This was game over is a great line, okay? Miro says it, or Rusev, or whoever they are now, says it in wrestling, okay? It's a great line. However, I like this Adam line. Face it, we're both bullshitters. My camera isn't. It doesn't know how to lie. It only shows you what you put right in front of it. And as a photographer, I related to that and I was happy. Because we learned something extra was in with the saws. And we get photos of Dr. Larry Gordon in, what did you call it? The hospital in the dumpster behind... whatever it is, that hospital. Dumpster hospital. We get pictures of Dr. Larry Gordon coming out of that.
Going into the hotel, being in that parking garage. Yeah, things like that. And then he even was taking pictures of the house before. He was taking pictures of him leaving his house, which leads into, as they're looking through those photos, him realizing he's got a picture of Zepp in Diana's bedroom window.
Yes. Diana did say there was a man in her room. Sometimes, as we've said on this podcast, you should listen to the children.
Yes, indeed. And so that's how Lawrence figures out that Zepp is Jigsaw. At least that's as far as he knows. Yes. That he's the one that behind this. And I think us, the audience, for the first time watching this movie, is somebody you're supposed to be led to believe that as well.
And we'd only seen him as an orderly at the hospital. Like, that's all we saw at that point.
Yeah. He's a great red herring for Lawrence, and like I said, for anybody watching this the first time. Like, you kind of feel, oh, okay, we figured it out. That's who Jigsaw is. He worked at the hospital. He saw how people were being treated. He's a little off in the head. This is the guy. Which then again makes that reveal, that twist, that much more delicious.
Yeah. Everyone in the movie is playing checkers. Jigsaw's playing chess.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, but then we get to see, like, on the phone, the other side, where Zepp is calling Lawrence on that phone while he has his family in their own home. He's still in the home. But then you see Allison,
Monica
Lawrence's
Potter.
wife.
Yeah.
She's a badass. Mm-hmm. Like, untying herself, getting her and her daughter a chance to escape, but then playing along to get the upper hand on Zepp to take his gun. But then chaos ensues because he grabs the gun back, the shots go off. Tap's been monitoring the house, of course, the whole time, so he comes running in and fights with Zepp, which lets the Gordons escape. But Lawrence is listening in just on the phone the whole time without a clue of what's actually going on, which is just tearing him apart, because now it's like things sound bad and he has no idea of knowing actually what's going on.
He basically flips out.
Yeah.
At that point, because he doesn't know if his family's alive or dead, and he wants to get back to them. And so, going back to something he said earlier, those saws were not ever meant to cut through chains. They were meant for them to cut through their foot.
Yeah. So that phone starts ringing again, and it's out of reach. And he has to know what's going on. So that's where he just, full desperation mode, like the trapped animal he is, saws his foot off to free himself. And then he can shoot and kill Adam in order to see his family. Of course, again, in this movie, I'll say, Lawrence Gordon, I don't think is ever a bad guy. He may have made some mistakes or like had some intentions, but never felt, because even here, like, you think, okay, he killed somebody in order to, like, see, but even then he didn't do, like, he purposely shot him in the shoulder and wounded him to fool whoever could be watching or whatever. Like, he's still trying his best to protect Adam in these moments too.
We see this in TV where things are shot a certain way and you think someone's dead, but they're not really dead because they've been shot or stabbed in a location because the person understands organs and where to stab or to take a kill shot versus where it's not going to do them as much damage.
Yeah.
It was interesting because we see Dr. Gordon go through this manic insanity of cutting his foot off and shooting Adam. And then Adam has his own freak out moment, which is when Zepp comes in. And because Zepp has decided the time's up, I've got to go and make sure that Dr. Gordon is dead because he's supposed to be killed.
Yeah, so he comes in and like Lawrence is pleading with him. He's like, I did it. I killed Adam. So now let me have my family. And he's no, it's past 6 o'clock. Your time ran out. It's
rules.
But then, Adam's not dead, so he attacks and kills Zepp. Has his own moment there.
He does freak out. He bludgeons him to death with the frickin' top of the toilet.
Yeah, don't blame him at all. That would do the same, probably.
Because they thought he was Jigsaw. Yeah. Like, that was what they thought. And, Dr. Gordon didn't kill Adam. He purposely shot him in the arm.
Yeah, keep him wounded until whatever this would happen to make somebody come in. So the plan is going exactly as they think it's supposed to be. All right, they think you're dead. Now Jigsaw's going to come in to set me free or whatever. And then they kill Jigsaw. Again, so they think. Lawrence says he's going to go get help. We can already tell blood loss has done a number on him. He's already looking
very pale.
Pale and weak, yeah.
It's definitely not good. This is the point where the movie score starts amping up. Dun dun dun, dun dun dun, dun dun. And then there's Adam's face.
Every time you do that, see, I don't ever hear the Saw theme. It's just wings. That's what
No. It's the Saw theme.
Live and let die. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun dun.
No.
Dun dun.
No.
Dun 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 dun.
No.
Dun dun.
No. I don't do it long enough, I guess, for it to be. Anyway, the Saw theme amps up, and then you see Adam's face as the body in the middle of the room stands up, rips off the prosthetic face that's on there that looks like he shot himself. And Adam's face is all of us when we saw this movie for the first time. We're like, what the fuck? And he finds out the key was in the bathtub.
Yep.
His key to get out was in the bathtub.
His key to freedom was lost in the very beginning of the movie.
Yep.
But even before Kramer stands up, there's this realization that Adam has because he gets the little tape player from Zepp's pocket. And when hitting play on that, he realizes, oh, this guy's not Jigsaw. He was just another pawn in the game like we were.
Mm-hmm.
That he had his own thing he was supposed to do, his own test he was following. And then, the real killer has been here the whole time.
And his name is not Sam Reich. It's Jigsaw. It's John Kramer. There he is. I mean, and honestly, what we saw of him, because things were a little bit of flashbacks, it got a little confusing for me when I was watching it again, because I'm like, wait a minute, that's not... And I realized it's because some of it's flashbacks to before Detective Tapp.
Mm-hmm.
Got
pretty much
next
all of the flashbacks scenes were anything that had Tapp that wasn't after he'd already been moved out of kicked off the force was all before either of these two men were in this room.
Yeah. You can see with Jigsaw, because Tapp and Singh have this interaction with Jigsaw where they basically figure out where he is.
Mm-hmm.
So
it all takes place before this, after the fact of watching the movie, because you're like, well, because he was on the floor the whole time, so
exactly.
He wouldn't have been in these other locations.
Exactly. So they have this interaction because they figure out, due to some graffiti that's on the back of a photo or in a photo, or that was part of...
It was part of the video that Amanda was watching the Jigsaw.
Yeah.
test video for her.
And so they were able to figure that out. So they go there. He's got another victim tied up. We don't even really know why he's there, like what he did to become a guinea pig. I've decided your life will mean something. Well, you know he's going to die. What, for what? Who knows? Because the judge and jury system that John Kramer has in place, no one really understands it. He just does it.
Yeah. Because it's not necessarily people who have done bad things. It's this hang up that he has with being somebody with a terminal illness.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, it gets in his craw so bad to see somebody not respecting or caring about their life.
Yeah.
Whether it's like the choices they're making, the things that they're doing where they're not grateful for and taking advantage of life, that bothers him, because he's like, if only I had your situation where I could have a full life to live and I could be happy, but I'm stuck here with this terminal illness, knowing I'm dying every day. If only I could be in your shoes, and you are in a place that I wish I could be, and you're squandering it.
Yeah. And he hates it.
That's his whole thing.
He hates it. He hates it. And so he just, if you're not appreciating what you have, because he asked that question of Amanda after she was able to break out of that trap. He asked her if, she appreciates. I don't think appreciate was the word.
I think grateful is the word he uses.
Yeah.
I'd be grateful for life now.
Yeah. And she even says he helped her.
Yeah.
Because Tap asked her, are you an addict? And she said she's grateful because he helped me.
Mm-hmm. She did have to take a life to get there. So it's like, again, it's like this give and take with Jigsaw.
Because the person that's in the room, it's really interesting. Because Jigsaw tells them that they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not dead. They're basically been drugged so they can't move.
Yeah.
And so they can't feel what's happening to them, but they can watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine being in that situation. That's so terrifying to think that you're there watching yourself be killed. Even if you don't feel it. I mean, to get to the key, it was in his stomach. She had to cut him open and pull all of his intestines out. Ugh. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we covered that. Like, I do have a couple of extra random notes, but I think mostly what we ended up doing was I just bounced around and threw a lot of other notes from other sections just into that main one as we went.
Yeah.
So now there's an Adam kind of section that I think, again, I said this before, most everything's going to be left over. It's just those like little quips and thoughts that are left over. Adam, very cooperative with the guy who was just tasked with killing him to save his family. Like, I don't know if I'd be throwing him a saw so easily.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we talked about the photo, his high drama fake death. Yeah, just him being the private eye that was tasked with, I don't know if he was officially, I don't think he was by job a private investigator. I think he's just a photographer who Tap was able to convince to do that for money.
Well, I think $200 a night is pretty good.
Yeah.
At that time, absolutely.
I think, that's pretty much it. Other than, like the ending, and I mentioned there's some hanging questions that will get answered. Again, no spoilers, but one of I think the big questions that we have that I promise will be answered. Most people listening to this probably have watched a lot of the other movies, so it's not really, they're like, it's fine, you can say it, but just in case, I'm going to be careful. I think the biggest cliffhanger, or biggest thing that people don't get any answer on just this first movie is the identity of the person in the pig mask.
Yeah.
What that was all about. We'll get there in future movies. It's explained, but
not now.
But there's absolutely no answer on that in just this movie. It's left as just a really random kind of okay, he had a helper who abducted them, but who was that person? What was that about?
Yeah.
We'll find out.
We will.
In future movies.
Yes. According to Lee Wanell, that original scene was not going to be, or the story was going to take place in an elevator originally, not the bathroom. I'm so glad they changed it to the bathroom because I think it worked perfectly for what they were doing. And they ran out of money, so that whole thing with Adam in the bathtub in the beginning, that was Lee Wanell being a stuntman.
And then, I had like a little section for Tap, but I think we've got most of that. Said he's been on the Jigsaw case for a little bit, poring over every single possible tiny clue. I mean, he's good and bad at his job. Like I said, I talked about like breaking a lot of protocol and just being too much. He's good in the fact that he can get a strong lead on the location just based on that like frame from the video. And him and Singh go there, catch Jigsaw, but John Kramer is sly. He's got a victim in a trap there already, as we talked about. So that's a great distraction that he can slash Tap in the throat.
He wants to play a game. He always wants to play a game.
And he can how to make his escape. Singh comes after him, wings him with a shot. And then there's a point where he disappears. And then get a big shot to the back. I'm assuming John had taken that moment to put a bulletproof vest on or something under his cloak. It seems like he was fine. But it gives him enough time to lure Singh into that fatal trap of his own.
R.I.P. Detective Singh, who I liked. Yeah. I thought he was great. I wish he had made it through because I'm interested in how he would have handled the future movies if he had survived to get through to the next one. Unfortunately, Detective Tap doesn't make it either. Zepp is able to shoot him. At least as far as I know, as far as this movie's concerned, he looked dead. But
yeah, but we see Tap. I mean, he's losing it at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, his partner was just killed by this guy that they've been hunting down. They were so close, and now his partner's dead, and the guy got away. And he's still convinced that Lawrence has something to do with it, so now he's obsessively following and stalking, paying Adam to follow him around and take pictures. He's monitoring and watching Lawrence's house just on his own accord. Will not let it go. So then we see, like, he gets discharged from the force because he's spiraling, which... funny use of the word there, considering Spiral, which I haven't seen, but I know that's just a title of a movie that comes up.
It is. I think it's number 8 or 9. Yeah. 8 or 9. 9.
Well, technically it's not part of the Saw series.
Yeah, but they call it.
It's from the book of Saw, is whatever. Again, I haven't seen it. I don't know what its connections are and how close. I don't know. But even on IMDb, when you look at like the Saw franchise, like, you put up this one, it says all the movies that follow. It's like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3D, Jigsaw, and X. And then like Spiral's not even in those movies. It's like a separate entity, but then it's like the Book of Saw.
Is that like Daryl Dixon, The Book of Carol?
Yeah, I guess. And then there's a new one coming out next year. So they're still continuing. Or it's in pre-production. Maybe not next year. Maybe. It's in pre-production right now is what I know.
I think X was a great way to end it.
11 is in pre-production right now.
Well, we'll still have that to cover.
Talk about Tap there. Anything else? Jigsaw had some... I think we've talked about. Amanda, I think we've talked about. The reverse bear trap, iconic.
Funny thing with how they got Shawnee Smith to play that role. The casting director asked James Wan who he'd like for that role or who he might envision. His crush as a teenager was Shawnee Smith. So he said that, do her.
And then
she turned it down originally, but decided to do it after she saw the short film. And so he was a bit surprised. Juan was surprised when the casting director came back and said, oh yeah, she's going to do it.
There's a lot of stories like that with movies where it's like a director's looking for a so-and-so type and then wind up just getting that person. Which has got to be really cool.
Saw was supposed to be straight to video. It was not supposed to be released in theaters at all, but luckily we got it, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I watched it at home. I didn't watch it in theaters. I was not going to get into a theater to see that.
No, you would not have.
But so really the only last note I had is just speaking of Amanda and her scene, her like flashback with the reverse bear trap. Again, because I think I talked about this, another James Wan, specifically enough. He definitely was a key component of this style, the 2000s horror style. but we really see it here too. The slow-mo double exposure shots that skip like into the frenetic sped up time lapse style for intensity. Because there was a lot of that in did I say Insidious or Dead Silence? Is what I meant. But there was a lot of that in Dead Silence when we covered that. Like a lot of those, like the double exposure slow-mo into frenetic time lapse. Like there's like those editing and filming styles that are very 2000s low budget horror.
I always forget that he did Dead Silence. Always. Pake, I don't have any other notes, so I'm done. Do you have anything else that you want to share about Saw?
No. I've gone through all of my notes as well.
I think we have set things up well for this franchise because, as we talked about, this is the first film. We have a lot more to go, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of fun to talk about it. Again, I saw it in the theater. I don't think I've seen it since. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time since watching this first one, so it was great to go back and visit. And once more, the wheel did not steer us wrong. I think the wheel did a great job, so I think we will definitely have to visit the wheel a few more times, more often. Maybe a handful more times this season. See what it holds for us.
But Pake, I think the wheel has a bias. I think it likes James Wan movies.
Dead Silence was 2 out of the 3 that we've used for the wheel so far have. And there are some more. There's at least one more of his. Or like the whole Conjuring series is still there. The whole Saw series. So like, I don't have all of them. I have Saw and Conjuring just once on the wheel. But if they come up, that means the next one. So those could happen. And I also just added today, after looking through James Wan stuff, Malignant wasn't on the list. I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, wow.
So I threw it on the wheel today. So yeah, there's a possibility.
If one of those come up, then we definitely know the wheel's got a bias.
Yes. Well, it's a good bias then.
Yeah.
The wheel likes James Wan. It's the Wan wheel.
The Wan wheel.
I think that's great. There goes the feedback.
Okay.
So perfect timing. Have to check that out. See what people had to say.
Okay.
All right. There is some feedback this week. So yay. Always love to have a little bit of feedback. The first one I will let Daphne take, but it is Tony hitting us up with last week's movie, which sometimes people do that, where it's like they wait till after they've listened to us cover something and then give their feedback thoughts on it, and that's usually also super cool. We don't mind. So, reach out to us and come at me. No, but come at us with whatever you want to say about movies and episodes whenever. We're here for it. So yeah. I'll stop rambling. Daphne, go.
Yeah, we're definitely here for whenever you want to send feedback. So if you're just starting to listen to Run for Your Lives and you're way back in Jurassic Park or Tremors or The Ritual, please feel free to hit us up with feedback. We'd love to be able to hear what you have to say or read
Although
what
if
you
they're
have
starting
to say.
back there and doing it in order, then they're not going to hear this until way in the future. So
That is true. That is true. So yeah, Tony sent in a comment about Megan 2.0. She says, I like the Megan movies. The first one is better, but I still found the second entertaining. I found Megan's sassy personality very funny. It was a little confusing and very nearly lost me near the end, but I powered through and I enjoyed it overall.
Nice.
Yeah, have to agree.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, our feedback for this week, where we covered Saw, comes from Catherine. Says, my love for Saw is a guilty pleasure. My family introduced me to Columbo and Agatha Christie at a very young age, so the plot twists, returning dead characters, and flashbacks revealing the setup and villains hooked me. The intense gore overshadows the plot, especially in the newer sequels, but I think the original Saw still holds up. The reverse bear trap and barbed wire maze are my favorites, aka the ones I'm most afraid of, and they both return in later movies. No horror movie is complete without a little dark humor to offset a nauseating toilet scene. Really wish I had checked there first. Yeah,
It's true. And anyone who saw Trainspotting knows it. I mean, same thing. Well, if you would like to submit feedback like Tony or Catherine, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Run For Your Lives Podcast, or you can email us at runforyourlivespodcast@gmail.com. You can go to runforyourlivespodcast.com for all the links you'll ever need. And if you're enjoying the show, be sure to tell your friends. We are available on all the podcast players, including Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And if you feel so inclined and want to share the love even more, you can give us a review on Apple Podcasts. That is the best way to show that you enjoy listening to us, and it helps get us out there even more. We really appreciate it.
We do indeed. Of course, speaking of sharing the love, gotta give some shout outs to things going on in the Podcastica universe around us and beyond. A lot of great stuff for me to point you in the direction of to check out between episodes until you come back here. A lot of good stuff on Podcastica. Of course, The Cast of Us has been covering season 3 of Daryl Dixon, the Walking Dead spin-off show. They're in season 3, of course, with episode 4 this week. Jason and Steve covering that on The Cast of Us. You can go check that out. Also, the newest Podcastica show, Wax Episodic, has wrapped up their coverage of Alien Earth. So you can get Jason, Randy, and Kara with that season finale there. Listen to that. And then season 1, episode 1 of Fallout. They're going back, covering the first season of Fallout, with season 2 coming out in a few months. So kind of recapping, or not really recapping, but watching it, covering it, getting ready for the new season. So if you want something to rewatch Fallout with, or if you haven't checked it out yet and want to catch up before the new season, Wax Episodic is your place to be. And then on Still Slaying, our friends Penny and Sam covering season 4, episode 14 of Buffy, having all their fun Buffy stuff going on over there. So you can check out Still Slaying, you Buffy fans. And on Bake-tastica, the Great British Baking Show, Great British Bake Off, depending on where you are and what you want to call it, Jamie, Greg, and Amelie are on there this week with season 13, episode 4. It's back to school week. So it's nice. Honestly, I've done that podcast before, that coverage. We used to do it over on the Strange Indeed feed. And yeah, I've done the Bake Off coverage for a season or two, and it's fun for all like the crazy, scary horror stuff that we do over here, but then even a lot of Podcasticas, a lot of like sci-fi and horror and darker stuff. It's really cool just to like have a Podcastica place to like really lighten it up and go talk about a bunch of pleasant British people baking pastries and cakes and bread. It's great.
And it's guaranteed that you'll be starving by the time you finish the episode.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So definitely check that out as well. And then, as I said, beyond Podcastica, we've got some other friends we got to give the shout-outs to. Our friend Mark over at the Pirate Core Entertainment Podcast Network has a lot of cool stuff going on. This week, you can check out coverage of Peacemaker on Panels to Pixels. I'm loving Peacemaker Season 2. It's been so good. Yeah, loving it a lot. So yeah, go check out their coverage over on Panels to Pixels. And then our friends at TV Podcast Industries are wrapping up their coverage of Alien Earth this week as well. Plus the Amazon Prime show Gen V, which is the boys' spinoff show. I mostly caught up. I caught up, and then now there's a new episode that came out this week that I haven't watched yet. But Gen V Season 2 has been so freaking good as well. So definitely, if you are a fan of Gen V and the boys universe, check that out and their coverage over at TV Podcast Industries. If you need more of me and Daphne for some crazy reason, you can get more of us being in the silly mood that I'm in right now for this feedback section for some reason. And you just get a bunch of that over at our other podcast, Buffalo Podcast, with our friends Jeff and Jerry, where the four of us get together, just goof around, joke, talk about what's going on, try to make each other laugh, play games every week. We rotate who's running the game. And we just have a really fun time with it. It's really at the core is just being friends and trying to make each other crack up, or at least roll our eyes and exasperatedly go, "Oh my God, that's enough of that." So whichever version of it we can get, we appreciate and we go for.
It's usually me that's saying, "Oh my God, that's enough of that." How much can one person take?
Yeah, but the more that she hates it, the more we have fun and love it. So I guess it still works out. No.
And I still keep going back for more every week. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what that says.
Yeah, we have fun. But of course, after you check out all of that, you know where to find us right back here on Run for Your Lives next week. And we'll have a new episode for you. Daphne, what are we doing next week?
Well, back in episode 217, Pake surprised me with a quotes quiz game. And now it's my turn to test him on some of the best quotes from movies that we've covered. It was a ton of fun to put the game together and a ton of fun to ask him the questions and surprising at which ones he got and which ones he didn't.
Mm-hmm. I may or may not have been just getting back from like a 2-week vacation and extraordinarily tired at the time we recorded that, but my brain kind of halfway worked. I think I did okay.
You know what? It wasn't just that you were coming back from a vacation.
Yeah.
And were very tired, but you did fine. I think it's always fun to look back at the quotes from different movies we've covered.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we've reached the end of another gruesome episode of Run for Your Lives. Thanks, everyone, for listening. I'm Daphne.
And I'm Pake.
And if you have to run, you better run for your lives.
Bye-bye. I said that weird.